Welcome, dear devotees, for today's continuous discussion on Gita Gyan. So today we are in a batch 5, the final batch for the year. Today is 14th December 2024, Saturday. So today we are meeting in the evening to discuss on chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so as usual, before we start our program, let's do our invocation prayer. Invocation is basically for to invoke auspicious things by offering our gratitude to our spiritual master and all the spiritual preceptor without their mercy for us to be here and to nourish this wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible. Okay, let's offer our obeisances and our gratitude to all our spiritual master and preceptor. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Dharati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajadam Shahagara Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Kadadamadaya Nagaragramatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachitisitarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhana Videvidaitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vignana Daine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jwala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktira Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gaura Namaste Vani Shri Murtaidina Tarini Rupanuga Viruddha Pasidanta Dvanta Harini Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambode Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhava Bhumestum Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyavacha Paditanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanuste Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Harium Tatsat. So, welcome again for today's discussion on chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita. So, a quick recap of what we have studied yesterday. So, yesterday we saw that the setting of the scene, okay, the war. We have also studied the amount of soldiers that gathered on both sides, okay, and they all are prepared to fight. And Arjuna told Krishna, please take the chariot and bring it to the middle, and I want to see who is there prepared to fight with me. With whom I should contend this great war. All right. So at that moment, Krishna tactfully will bring the chariot and park right in front of Dronacharya and also Bhishma Deva. We also understood, we studied yesterday who is Dronacharya and who's Bhishma Deva. Dronacharya is the guru that taught the art of war, and Bhishma Deva is the grandfather. Okay. So after seeing all this thing, then after that, the reality strike in. When he saw that he need to fight against his own relatives, Arjuna became very overwhelmed. Okay, he became very overwhelmed. He became so frustrated and he became so distressed, heartbroken, just name it. All that indication of person who are very depressed, he start to show. Example, he said his skin start burning, his mouth is drying up, his limbs are quivering, like that. He showed all the symptoms. And what he did, he put aside his Gandiva bow and he says, I'm not going to fight. Let them come and take all these things. Okay, I will just remain unarmed and let them come and fight and take the kingdom away. All right. So just a quick recap. So today we're going to discuss on chapter 2, which is going to be very, very, very interesting chapter. Okay. In this chapter is basically is the contents of Gita summarized. Okay. All right. So ISKCON Ipoh, in collaboration of ISKCON Ipoh First Garden Bhakti Yoga Center, along with ISKCON Malaysia, proudly presents Gita Gyan, the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So what is Gita Gyan means for newcomers today? Gita Gyan means we are talking about the summary of every chapter. So like this, we're going to go on, summarize every chapter every day until we finish up the entire 18th chapter. All right, the duration of this class is going to be like 2 hours. So within the 2 hours, I'll try to summarize everything. Then after that, you're expected to go and do your own studies. So to reinforce and to understand the subject matter more clearly, right? Okay, so let's take darshan from Sri Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. Today we dedicate this program to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And this program is inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, GBC, and also a spiritual master. And I dedicate this program to my very dear God brother, His Grace Anadi Jagannath Prabhu, late. Actually, he passed away around 3 years ago, of Bengaluru ISKCON Shishadipuram. He is the creator and the brainchild of the essence of Gita Gyan program worldwide. Through this program, we have seen that such a huge transformation started happening. Started off in India, Karnataka, Bangalore, and from Bangalore, it started to spread to all over part of India. And at the same time, now the program has been also initialized by my very good friend. Okay, he started off this program in Myanmar. After it turned into Burmese language. Then from Myanmar, now we have also gone into Trinidad, Tobago. Okay, South America, North America in between. Okay, Trinidad, Tobago, and also recently there was a devotee from Denmark showed interest. So soon they also going to start in Danish language. Like this program is spreading all over the world because this is a very systematic and yet very comprehensive. Even though it's a summary, but it's very comprehensive way of outreaching by teaching them the essence of Bhagavad Gita. It's quite very unique program. Okay, so let's look at today's Gita Mahatmya. As I shared today in the group, okay, the Gita Mahatmya. Gita Mahatmya means, in other words, is called the glories of Gita. So let's look at this. Gita Dhyayana Shilasya Pranayama Parasya Cha Naiva Shantihi Papani Purva Janma Kritanicha. Purva Janma means our previous birth. Okay, so here it says, if one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely, okay, if one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, okay, what happened? If you just study the Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and very seriously, with by the grace of the Lord, the reaction of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. Okay, so what is that past misdeeds? So we are all become a victim of 3 types of karma. Okay, we got 3 types of karma. So when you see that, so what are the types of karma we have? The first type of karma we call Sanchita karma. Sanchita karma means the karma that has been accumulated since time immemorial. That means we have taken birth here for so many times, so many millions of birth we have taken. And what is that? We will discuss as we go on in Bhagavad Gita. All right, it's too early for me to explain to you all this. right? We have taken birth so many times, and through every birth we have taken every kind of experience. Okay, so we have taken so many births, we have taken so many experiences, and that called sanchita karma. That means all this karma is kept in the form of a seed. You know the seed, bija, seed, beach. So all these things kept in the form of a seed. Okay, in a big huge warehouse. Okay, and prarabdha karma means the what they call the karma that just happened around few birth ago, which we're going to enjoy or suffer in this very birth. Okay, in this very birth itself. And the third thing we call as kriyamana karma or agami. So kriyamana karma means the karma that we're going to suffer or enjoy in this current birth. Okay, in this current birth. In this current birth, okay, what are the things that I'm going to have? Okay, the choice of parents and the nationality, in which country you're born. You're born into which family. Okay, into what kind of descendant, what kind of parampara, what kind of descendant that you're born to. So all these things are called what they call kriyamana karma. So this, prarabdha karma. So kriyamana karma means what you're going to enjoy and suffer now. Okay, what are the consequences that you're going through now? Okay, example, say like I am okay, I am doing something and I'm enjoying the benefit. So that's called kriyamana karma. Example, okay, give you a good example. Say like today lunch, you had something extremely spicy. All right, you never control your tongue. You saw something fantastic feast, and it was extremely spicy and extremely everything. You just had a fantastic lunch because today is Saturday, it's a weekend. Everybody stay at home. It's a family time, and let's cook something and everything. They all eat something, okay? And after eating that, say like now the person is suffering the consequences, having a stomach ache, indigestion, feeling frustrated. That is called kriyamana karma. What do you do now? We're going to enjoy now itself. So, in other words, where can we find that? Sanchati karma is we also can call as the in astrological chart. Okay, when you look at astrological chart, we have Rasi, Nakshatra, Lakna. Okay, Rasi, Nakshatra, Lakna. So the Rasi means is your body. Nakshatra means your mind. Lakna means your activity for this. What are you going to go? What are the consequences that you're going to go through? All right. So the lakna can be called as prarabdha karma. Okay, what is that? What they call the kriyamana karma. That means the karma. That means the karma that you can find in your palm. When you read your palm, it says, okay, today what I'm going to go through, tomorrow what I'm going to go through. That's the consequences on the spot. All right. Okay. Anyway, why I'm telling you this story is like this. We are all trying our best. We are going for this place to pilgrimage. We are going to India. We are going to this Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Sindhu, Kaveri, Godavari. We are trying to go to all the holy places, take a bath, take a deep. Okay. We want to go to all these places for what? What is that actual purpose of doing that? Right? Of course, one way is pilgrimage. You are going to all the holy places, holy tirtha. But the ultimate goal is to reduce our karmic reaction. Okay. So we are being burdened. So whenever we carry such heavy karma with us, okay, the reaction with us, sometimes we can't move forward. Okay. So what do? We are going to this kind of holy places. We're trying to reduce our burden and try to create some good activity, pious activity, some good karma, in other words, good karma, so that we can go on. But here in this Bhagavad Gita, this is something that we should really pay attention to. This is written by Adi Shankara. It's not an ordinary person, Adi Shankara, who is the incarnation of Lord Shiva. He said that Gita dhyayana shilasya pranayama parasyacha naiva shanti hi papani. All kinds of naiva shanti means that means many varieties of papani. Papani means what they call sins, all kind of sins and reaction, which is also including purva janma, kritanicha. So, in other words, if we read Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, all the reaction of past misdeeds, all the wrong things that you might have done in your past life, or even when you're young, and all these things will not act upon you. Or in other words, what happened? It gets washes away. Right? It gets washed away. Can you imagine? Right? We do not need to spend money to go to all these holy tirthas and all these things. Sometimes, now in India is a cold season. It's a rainy season. Everywhere is raining. Everywhere is thunder. It's not a conducive moment to go to India now, especially. Right? Then after that, the cold season, the winter season will start. The place is extremely cold. Sometimes we were born in Malaysia, born in other countries. Maybe we can't tolerate the weather in India. So it's going to be very troublesome. So the best option that you can have now, simply hold the Bhagavad Gita in your hand and start to read very seriously. Or in other words, do not read, study. Study word by word what is actually mentioned there. By doing that, you can easily, in the comfort of your home, or at the same time, the comfort of your couch, your sofa, you can just relax, sit down, and you simply study the Bhagavad Gita. You attain the same benefit of removing your previous birth karma just by studying the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. But all this we're going to discuss in detail as we go on in Bhagavad Gita. So please don't miss any class. All right. So please don't miss any class, and you will know, okay, what are the karma and how we're going to rectify it and how to overcome it and how to go and achieve success in life. Okay. Now, let's look at this understanding the Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is best understood by a person who has qualities similar to Arjuna. That is to say, he must be a devotee in a direct relationship with the Lord. Okay. As soon as one becomes a devotee of the Lord, he also has direct relationship with the Lord. Why all this? We will study as we go on. Okay. Why does we have to be a devotee and why we must have a direct relationship with the Lord? That is very elaborate subject matter. But briefly, it can be stated that a devotee is in a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in one of these 5 different ways. Okay. We have a relationship with the Lord and through these 5 different ways. Number one may be a devotee in a passive state. All right. Passive. One may be a devotee in an active state. One may be a devotee as a friend. One may be a devotee as a parent. And one may be a devotee as a conjugal lover. So in any of these 5 ways, the person start to create a relationship with the Lord. Okay. So I want you to look at this statement very, carefully. Number one may be a devotee in passive state. All right. That means passive means, yes, I'm the devotee of the Lord. Yes, okay, but not very actively involved. And some devotees like myself, we are actively involved in this path. All right. Then after that, there's also devotee as a friend, as a parent, as a conjugal lover. And there's no way you can find that people start to worship the Lord out of fear. Okay, out of fear. Bhaya, bhakti. Okay, bhaya means fear. Bhakti means the service, the devotional service. So there's when you study the Bhagavad Gita, you'll start to understand Krishna actually wants you to love him. He wants love, right? And he wants to reciprocate with you in a loving manner. Okay, he doesn't want to like scare you. Like sometimes, they in certain religion or certain practices, they say, oh God, careful, kadal kanna kuthiruvaru, then oh, you have to be very afraid. Oh, you see the thing. Oh, okay, I'm so scared. He doesn't want that way. All right. He wants you to have a loving relationship. That's why I see as a friend, as a parent, and also as a conjugal lover. What is conjugal lover means? He wants you to become his lover. So this is one of the 5 ways that usually people becomes a devotee. Okay. In every chapter we go through, we're going to study about this, understanding the Gita. The understanding the Gita is something that you can find in your introduction of your Bhagavad Gita. It's 30 pages introduction, where Prabhupada summarized the entire Bhagavad Gita in that 30 pages. All right. So we just take a glimpse of it. We just discuss, then we carry on with our session. So today we're going to talk on chapter 2, the contents of Gita summarized. Okay, 2.1. Okay, so yesterday we have already spoke who is Sanjaya. Can anyone remember who is Sanjaya? Anybody would like to just unmute yourself and just say, shout out who is Sanjaya? If you know, you can put a thumbs up there. I can see. That means you are all here. If you don't know, thumbs down. Okay, who is thumbs up here? Oh, okay, he. Siuling, right? Siuling Mataji, great. Yes, Prime Minister of Dhritarashtra, and also known as Prime Minister and also Secretary, right? So he's the Prime Minister. He's there, okay? He has that vision that what is happening in the warfare, and through that vision, he's explaining to Dhritarashtra, because Dhritarashtra, the king, is a blind king. He couldn't go to the war. He don't know what is happening. He's so anxious to find out what is happening between the two cousins. Because the Pandavas, his own brother's children, and the Kauravas, his own children. So his children and his brother's children are fighting, is declaring the war. Okay. So now let's look at 2.1. Sanyaya uvacha. Okay, before that, yesterday as I was explaining to you some of the Sanskrit pronunciation, now let me explain to you another Sanskrit pronunciation that you can see is when you see this kind of word. When you see the N, when you see the word N, okay, and above the N there's a line like this. Okay, there's a line like this. So how are we going to pronounce that? Nya. So Sanjaya, Sanjaya. Okay, Jnana, Nya. Okay, it sounds like Nya. So far, so good. Okay, the another word that I'm going to share with you today is, let's look at this. Vishidantam edang vakyam uvacha madhu. Okay, now let's look at this. When you see the H with a dot. Okay, so what is that H with a dot? Okay, now it's like this. So H with a dot means at this area there is a silent O. Okay, there's a after the H with the dot, there's a silent alphabet. Example, when you see E H O H, it is actually usually upper vowel. Okay, I H A H A E I O U. Okay, U H. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, let me put down this thing. Okay, there's a dot here, there's a dot here, there's a dot here, and there's a dot here, and there's a dot here. Okay, how to understand that? It's simple. Say, for instance, when you see EH, A, hey. So, A, hey, A, hey. That means there's a E, silent E at the back. When you see the OH with the dot, oh, ho, there's a silent O. If you see the I, E, he. If you see aha, U means uhu. Are you all following me? Any one of you confused? All good? No, you can participate just by putting a thumbs up or what, so I can know that you all are listening to this, understanding. Okay, K7. Okay, Mataji, great. Oh, that's Saradhan. All right, good. All right, so you got the thing, huh? Okay, now let's look at this. So, Sanyaya uvacha tang tata kripaya vishtang ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantam idang vakyam uvacha madhusudana. So Sudana ha. So there's a silent A. So not Madhusudana. Madhusudana. Okay, there's a at the back becomes silent. So tam tata kripaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam vishidantam idang vakyam uvacha madhusudana. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. So now what are the things that we can understand from here? Let's look at this verse here. It says that seeing Arjuna full of compassion. Number one, what is that compassion is all about? Okay, why Arjuna is so compassionate about? Because he understands the people in front of them will never give up fighting. Okay, because the reason they have selected to fight in the place of Kurukshetra, where they die, they can go to heavenly kingdom and enjoy life. It's worth it. All right. If not, you want to go to heaven, you have to do so much of ritual, you have to do so much of prayer, you have to do so much of what they call tapasya. You have to do so much of good things, you have to feed so many people, a lot of things you have to do just to go to heaven. But here, simply die in that warfare as a brave man, you go to heaven. So he knows they will never quit. Okay. At the same time, they are his own friends and own cousins and nephews, and all these fellows are standing there. At the same time, they know they cannot withstand Arjuna. They cannot stand in front of Arjuna because Arjuna is such a great warrior. He's such a great archer. He's a great warrior. He has so much of power in him, right? And he definitely, and especially his older brother, Bhima. They say Bhima got the strength of a 10,000 elephant. All right. So he loves to eat. He eats a lot and he can do so much of Herculean task. Hercules, like Herculean task. He's so strong. And these fellows can never stand in front of him. And you just so worried, oh my God, these fellows are just going to die. I feel so bad for them. Right? So by thinking of that, what happened? His mind became so depressed. He became so frustrated. Sometimes we are going through so much of depression, but what Arjuna is going through is a depression which beyond the words. We can't explain. Sometimes we are depressed when we lose our job. Sometimes we are depressed when we lose our lover. Okay? Or lose our fortune. So a lot of things, or we fail our exam, we become so depressed. All right. So, and sometimes lost of family members, loved ones. Also, we can go depressed. But here, his depression is unbelievable because he have to fight against his own loved ones. And the worst thing is to kill them. Right? If you fight means you have to kill. That's what war is all about. In war, there's no touching injury. It is only happens in a boxing, what they call, ring. You just punch, the fellow injured, you're out. But here is war. Either you kill him or he kill you. So by thinking of this, he's so depressed. Imagine his depression. And after that, his eyes full of tears means what? He start sobbing. He start crying. Right? He start crying. Okay. Then after seeing all this, the Madhusudana, or also another words of Krishna, spoke the following words. Now Krishna start to speak in chapter 2. Okay. So chapter 2, Krishna start to say this word. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Putastva Kashmalam Idang Vishame Samupastitam Anarya Justam Asvargyam Akirti Karam Arjuna. So Krishna is looking at him in wonder. He was looking at this. He said, my dear Arjuna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities came upon you? How these impurities came upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planet, but to infamy. Infamy means to disgraceful world. So the word that we see that used here is kashmalam. Sometimes in Tamil also we used to scold people, they kasmalo. Kasmalo. So what is kasmala means? Kasmalam is not a bad word. Actually, is the word kashmala means impurity. All right. He's asking, how did this impurity came upon you? I can't believe it. Because when you are dressed in war, when someone opponent is standing right in front of you, you can never say, I pity them, feel so compassion for them and all these things. It doesn't fit a soldier, and especially the soldier or veteran soldier. Because here, Arjuna also will be called, as you go on, you see, Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means what? Dhanan means wealth. Jaya means victory. So that means in any time in a country, when a person goes and conquer another country, the first thing they will take their wealth. Right? That's what happened. We have seen in history, right? When the British came and conquered Malaysia, when the British came and conquered India, the first thing they take away all their wealth first, like Kohinoor, the diamond Kohinoor. All right, the jewels. And when they conquer Hong Kong, China, and any countries the British conquer or anybody conquers, the first thing they're going to take their wealth away. Okay, that's the norm. So that's why he's known as Dhananjaya, because he used to conquer so many countries and take their wealth away. Or in other words, now he's though he's asking that you are not an ordinary person. He's wondering how these impurities came upon you. They are not befitting a man who knows the value of life, because he knows as a soldier, they are always looking forward for opportunity to fight. For a Brahmana, their beauty is what? The Brahmana, their beauty is their education. How much educated they are, that's the beauty. That's the ornament. For a Kshatriya or the warrior, for them is how much wound he have on his body, to show that how many wars he has actually gone and fought. The amount of wound that he have, the injuries. For a Vaishya or the business people is how much money they have, how much wealth, how much gold they have. That is their ornament. And for the Shudras or the servants or the worker, the normal workers, for them is how much they are appreciated and what is their loyalty. Their loyalty is their wealth. So he said, then he knows that befitting, he knows that value of life. He's telling if you're thinking like this, it's not going to take you far. All right. You're just going to disgrace yourself. Okay. And 2.6. After from just now we started 2.2, 4, 5, 6, Krishna will be like chastising him, like scolding him. And then after that, what happened? Arjuna start to speak. Okay. Arjuna vacha nai chaitat vidma kataranno gariyo yatva jayemo yadiva no jayeyuhu yan eva hatva na jijivishamas tevastita pramuke dartarastraha. So now you see Arjuna start to speak here in a very depressed way. Just try to imagine how Arjuna spoke. Nai chaitad vidma kataranno gariyo yatva jayema yadiva no jayeyuhu yaneva hatva na jijivishamas tevastita pramuke dartarastraha. Arjuna said, nor do we know which is better. Don't know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Imagine the depression, the frustration level of Arjuna. He's telling, I don't know which is better, to conquer them or being conquered by them. Which is better? You know? If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra is his own cousins. They grew up together in the same kingdom, the same palace. You know, from the day one, they grew up together. They had fun. They had this thing all. Right? So by killing them, we should not care to live because no point. I mean, there's no value in life. Okay. Then after that, he says, but Devastita Pramuke Dartarastaraha. And yet they are standing before us on the battlefield. All right. So now let's look at that. Arjuna's reasons for not fighting. Number one, yesterday we studied in chapter 1, text 20 to 30, compassion for friends and relatives. Number 2 is 31 to 35. We understood no enjoyment in victorious because you want to succeed, you have to have your family members. And you're so worried about fear of sinful reaction, destruction of family tradition. And now here in 2.6, we understand that Arjuna couldn't make a decision, indecision of fighting. Okay. Then after that, now Arjuna is continuing. Karpanya doso pahata swabhavaha prachami tvang dharma samudda chetaha yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste hangshadi mang tvang prapannam. So now see what Arjuna did. He did a fantastic thing. See, now I'm confused. All right. Now I'm very confused. Okay, I'm very confused about my duty. And I've lost all composure because of miserly weaknesses. Okay. Karpanya dosos. Okay. So he says, so now I'm confused about my duty. Okay. Yes, you are telling that I'm supposed to perform my duty. But now I'm confused. And I've lost all composure. Lost all composure means what? You have lost all reasoning power. That means, in other words, now he's in the stage, he cannot think straight. He cannot think. All right. He's so depressed now, it's the situation he couldn't think anything. All right. Because he says, because of miserly weaknesses. Miserly weakness. Right. This thing, weakness of, because of this, I couldn't distinguish. That's why when you see the doctors, when they want to operate their own family members, they don't do it. They'll ask another doctor to do it. That is part of the practice. Because the doctor will never operate their own family members, especially critical operations like heart and all these things. All right, like bypass and all. Because something they'll get panic. Right, this kind of miserly weakness. All right. Then after that he says, in this condition means in this frustrated condition, he says, I am asking you to tell me for certain. Okay. He said, tell me for certain what is best for me. So the word is nishchitam. Or in Tamil, we also call nichiyamaga. Nichiyamaga kurunga. Nichiyama solunga. Nichiyam. Nichitam. That means for certain. Tell me for certain. That means, in other words, he's telling, don't go around the bush and everything. Please come straight to the point. Please certain what is best for me. Then after that, you know what Arjuna did? He said, now I am your disciple. Shishyasteham shadi mam twang prapannam. So now I am your disciple. Okay. And a soul surrendered unto you. I am your disciple and soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Okay. So what are the things that we should say? We should look at it. Number one, he says, I'm your disciple. So disciple means when we surrender to a guru, all right, we surrender through our mind, intelligence, our soul, and everything, fully surrender to our guru. If you accept a spiritual master, we fully surrender. So what the guru will do, the guru will teach you. So how the teachings of the spiritual master, he doesn't give you suggestion. He doesn't give you opinion. He give you instruction. So the guru-disciple relationship means the guru gives instruction to the disciple. Okay. So now he's asking this. He says, please instruct me. Give me instruction. He's not saying, Arjuna is not looking at Krishna and say, give me suggestion, give me your opinion, all right? Give me your advice, all right? He said, give me suggestion, give me instruction, please instruct me, all right? So now we understand in 2.7, Arjuna actually surrendered to Krishna as a disciple. Now, Krishna start to speak. Okay, now he start to give instruction. Sometimes the guru, how instruction is just like more into chastisement, like scolding. Then after that, he will give instruction as we go on. Okay, now let's look at this. 11, text 11. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashochan Anvashocastvang Pranyavadangscha Bhashase Gatasun Agatashungscha Nanu Shochanti Panditaha. Asochan, Anvasha. And Asochan means what they call purified and this thing, okay? Pranya Vadangscha Bhasase. Bhasa means Bahasa. In Malay also we call Bahasa. Bahasa means the language. Bhasa, Bhasai, right? Katasun Agatangscha Nanu Shochanti Panditaha. So Krishna said it very nicely here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned word, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. In other words, your mourning means what? All right. How we should use the word M-O-U-R-N. When we mourn when someone passes away. Okay. That means mourn means is an extreme grief. First is we are talking about I'm very sad. Right. Then after that, I'm grieving. Grieving means you're really, really sad. Right. But when you mourn means you're extremely grieving. You're extremely grieving. That means you have no composure. You cannot think so. Sometimes when you go for a funeral, when we see people are mourning, they are so broken into pieces. They are so broken heart. All right. They mourn. So now he's telling you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Something that is not worth the grief. Then after that, Krishna continues. But those who are wise, lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So Krishna says, those who are wise, that means those who are intelligent people, they do not lament. What they call lament in Tamil, polambaradhu. Enna polambikite kadakara, polambikite irukadhu, polambal. All right. So the wise will never lament. The wise lament neither. He doesn't lament for the living or nor for the dead. Okay. Then in 12, Arjuna continues. Okay. He says, Na tvevahang jatu nashang, na tvang neme jana dipaha. Okay, see the A, aha. Na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarva vayam ata param. He said, never was a time that when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So what Krishna says here, he says, there was not a time that I means Krishna did not exist. And also Arjuna. There was not a time that you and I never existed. In other words, what we say, we have been existing all this while. We have been existing all this while. That is also including all these kings, all these fellows. They also existed before. At the same time, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. That means in the future, also it's not that we will not exist. We will go on existing. Everyone, you got it? Got the idea? Or in other words, he says, there was not a time that you and I, including the keys, including the kings, never existed. And also there will be not a time that all these you and I, including the keys, including the kings, will not exist. So we are all eternal. You understand? Okay, you have right to ask question. You can raise your hand. You can even interrupt me. You can ask question. By asking question, you understand better. I hope you're okay. I don't understand, Prabhu. Can I explain? Okay, which one you don't understand? Which one you don't understand, K7? The entire, yeah.
No, the 2.12 only.
Yeah, but which one? You don't understand any you don't understand all this.
The whole sentence. It's a bit.
Oh, the sentence. Okay. All right, now let's look at this. Never there was a time when I did not exist. Okay, so that means, okay, who are the, okay, let me highlight this for your easy understanding. Okay, never there was a time that I, you, and the kings. Okay, Krishna saying there was not a time that I, you, Arjuna, and all the kings that standing in front of them, there was not a time that they did not exist. So far, so good. You understand this?
Meaning, come again, Prabhu. Meaning, how? What do you mean?
Okay, now it's like this. There was not a time. That means all these people, that means me, you, and the king, they existed before.
Okay.
So that means that's why it says there was never a time. There was never was a time. There was there a time. That means there was not a time that you and I and the kings did not exist. You got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Can, bro.
Can means what? You're not sure.
Can, sure. Okay, understand.
No, hey, don't say I like. No, I corner you. I didn't corner you. Okay. If you don't understand, I will explain to you again. Okay. I love people asking questions. He says, see, there was not a time. Okay, don't worry about the English because this Prabhupada used a fantastic English. Okay, it's a flowery English. Okay, there was not a time. That means there was not a time means that means all this while that you, me, and the kings existed. Okay. So that's why he says there was never a time. Never a time means never. Okay, sorry. Okay. So that means never was a time. Okay. When I did not exist. Okay. I did not exist. Nor you. Nor means what? Including you and also all the kings. Okay. There was never a time. That means all this while, I, Krishna, you, Arjuna, and all the kings existing all this while. Okay. K7?
Okay, Prabhu. Then how about the second one, Prabhu?
Then,
any of us cease to be.
Then after that, the second proverb, second sentence he made, na chaiva na bhavishyama sarvai vayam ataparam. That means no in the future. That means also in the future, they shall any of us cease to be. That means in other words, in the future, it's not okay. In the future, they will go on existing. Okay, the word cease to be here used means there will be not a time that they all disappear. Like some say, after die, we gone, right? As long as we live, everything. After we die, we there's nothing after death. So what Krishna says here is, there was not a time means all this while you, I, and the kings existed. That means in all our previous, all this, we have been existing all this while. And the future, we will go on existing. You got it?
Okay, bro, understand.
Okay. All right. Now, what Krishna says here, now let's look at the next one. All right. So Krishna continuing, what do you mean by that? What do you mean I never existed, you never existed, and we're going to exist in the future? How? So Krishna first he said about this. Okay, please mark this thing. First he said, all the while I existed, and in the future I'll go on existing. How? I never, all this while I was not existed 100 years before. 100 years ago, I never existed. And 100 years down the road, guarantee I will never exist. But what do you mean by this? Huh? How? Huh? Never before existed. And in the future, there's the YOLO situation that you go on existing. How is that possible? Then Krishna continues 2.3, 13. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumarang yavanang jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuyati. So now Krishna said, as the embodied soul. Now the first thing that we should see here, as the embodied soul, okay, continuously passes. That means we are passing, okay, in this body, continuously passing through this body. From where? Initially we were boyhood or girlhood. Then later we became a youth. Then after that, we will definitely become old. Okay. Then he says, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. Okay. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So now, when we look at just now verse, we understood what does it mean never was a time I existed, never a time that I'll exist in the future. What Krishna is referring? Krishna is referring to the soul. So what we should understand from here is like this. Okay, now let me explain to you. As an embodied soul, what does it mean by embodied soul? Okay, embodied soul means the soul that lives in a material body. So far, so good? The soul is spiritual, but living in a material body. Or in other words, we call this bird as encaged. Encaged bird. What does that mean? That means the bird is kept inside the cage. Okay. We call the prisoner, okay, in prison. That person has been sent, okay. Where is he? He's been in prison. In prison means what? A person has been thrown into a prison, in prison. Encaged means the bird has been caged into the, the bird was caught and put inside the cage. We call encaged. So embodied means the person has been put into a body. Okay, this first terminology, do you all understand? Thumbs up if you understand. If you don't, please ask me a question. No, because this is going to be very, very, very important. If you can get this idea, the entire journey of Bhagavad Gita is going to be fantastic. Okay, Kalavini, okay. How about you, Karpias? Oh, Saraswati Mataji, okay. Right, all of you, huh? Cheong. Oh, Cheong Prabhu, you're here. Hare Krishna. Great. All right, so we understand. So embodied means the soul has been deceased. So embodied soul. So now what is that soul in the body going through? It continually passes in this body. That means it passes in this body. How? First was a boyhood. Formerly we were like this, we were baby. Then the soul from here, we passing through. The body is changing from the boyhood. Then slowly we went to the youth. Then after that, we start to dwindle to the old age. Okay. That means, in other words, formerly you and I were baby before. Then we became a boy or toddler. Then after that, we became a teenager. Then from teenager, we became a youth. After we become youth, we become a young man or young woman, young adult. Then after that, we go to the middle age. After we go to the middle age, then we become into a senior citizen. So the body is changing. But I have not changed. I am still the same, but my body is changing. So similarly, when the body changes from one body to another, the body is changing, but the soul is the same. So it passed through all these things at the time when the body couldn't change further. The body cannot change further. The body drops. The body become useless. The body become diseased. The body might have been injured badly by accident. All this, the body couldn't perform anymore. So what happened? The body drops. That is called death. So what happened? When the body dies, the soul similarly passes into another body. Then after giving up this, we will go and accept another gross body. You all understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Great. Very good. Fantastic. Okay. Now, but of course, this topic we will discuss as we go on. All right. So now Krishna explaining. So just now from 13, we are jumping to 17. Of course, I hope that you study your Bhagavad Gita with you, because we are just going through the important part for your clear understanding. So now let's look at 17, verse 17. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. I have a
Oh, Hare
question.
Krishna. Yes, yes.
I have a question just now. About the changing of body.
Okay.
Changing of body. Can we reverse the direction of changing?
Reverse the direction means what? Anti-aging?
Means from old age to youth, boyhood to babies.
Going backward, is it?
Yeah. Can we go backward?
No. We can't. That is unless it is what they call imagination of some scientists that we can reverse our birth, like going back to the future, back to future. So all this we cannot reverse. We just go moving on. We are just moving on. From here, we are moving on. We give up. Then from there, we are just going on, moving on, just ongoing.
So the direction of the movement is fixed. It's fixed. You're going
forward,
to
yes.
Yeah,
correct.
It's forward moving. Is a forward moving, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, in other words, say like for instance, a person who born is sure to die. Yes or not? So first we have a birth certificate. So where are we moving on? If you really look at it, we are only moving towards the final destination. All right. So we are just moving on. So as we go on, we just from small, we are just moving on more until the time comes, we'll just leave the thing and go further. Kala is there.
Yeah. Meaning we are constrained by the definition of time.
Yes, very good. Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Correct. Because the 5 things that Krishna will explain. Remember, I think I did I say it yesterday, right? First is Ishvara, the controller. Second is the controlled, that is Jiva, that we are the control. Number 3 is we are living in Prakriti. Prakriti means the material nature, the environment, that's this thing. And of course, and how we live in this material world is by karma, reaction. That means we are action, we are acting, we are working, we are going on, is karma. So all these things is all these starting and beginning, all handled by number 5, Kala. Kala means time. So these are the 5 things that we understand in Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. How about a person who died in an accident at a young age or during early childhood, 5 years, not even reached the old age? All these all depends on their certain, remember that I was talking about prarabdha karma, sanchita karma. All these things all depends on all the sanchita karma. All right. So a person has to be killed in a very young age, in an accident and all these things. All right. Everybody must have a reason to leave the body. Either the body is diseased or the body is injured by accident. The body cannot use further. So whether the person dies at the age of dies in the womb or dies at the age of 100, we have that is not within our control. Okay, this is all by the laws of material nature, laws of nature, and all according to the sanchita karma, prarabdha karma. Okay. Okay, Kesavan. All right. Okay. All right. Now, so now he says the embodied soul. Now we understand. So this 213, please try to mark your Bhagavad Gita, this 213, and try to read the purport and try to understand this much in more detail. All right. The embodied soul. That means I've been embodied in the cage, and that cage is called the body. All right. But that means I embodied. What does that mean? What does that mean? So now Krishna is explaining. What does that mean? So he says, 17, Avinashi tu tat viddhi, yena sarvang idang tatam, vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. He says, that which pervades the entire body. The pervades means the one that glows, that pervades, that fills the entire body. You should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. So now, just now he's telling, okay, now we go back again. So he says, a person is not grief for the one living and dead. Then after that, he says, there was not a time that these people never existed, you and I, and there's a time that we will not exist. That means, in other words, we have been existing in the past, and we are existing now, and we go on existing in the future. And how is that possible? Because the soul, which is caged in the body, it continuously passes in one body, from the body, boyhood, youth, and old age. From the youth, body, old age, at the same time, at the time of death, when the body dies, the soul will go to the next body. And he says the sober person means the person who has intelligence, the person who understands this process, is not bewildered, is not agitated, is not disturbed with that change. Okay. Now Krishna is explaining what is that soul is all about. All right, just talking about the body, but now what is soul? Avinashi yatut vidhi. I mean, that which pervades the entire body. You should know it to be indestructible. Okay. The thing that which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. Okay. Okay. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. What does that mean? So the thing that pervades the entire body. Okay, what does it, how we can understand the pervade entire body? See, now it's darkness, right? Now it's already sunset. It's dark. I believe in India also still dark, right? It's already gone dark. So now it's darkness. What is darkness? Darkness means there's no sun. Okay. When the sun rises, the darkness disappears. So the sun, when it shines, it makes the whole place bright. Just like here, I'm sitting in this room. There's a light here. And this light make the entire room bright. So this light pervades the entire room. So far, so good? You all understand? So it pervades means it goes and lighten up everything. That means the whole room. That means I can see from that corner of that building to that corner to all the corners around, everything is brightened up. You understand? You got it? That's called pervade. So now Krishna says here, that says that which pervades the entire body. That means the body, the whole body is in consciousness. See, sometimes when you're sitting and talking to me, suddenly a little ant come and bite your toe. You could feel it. Yes, something is biting. Why? Because there's a consciousness, it's pervading the whole body. All right. So you should know it's indestructible. That means it can never be destroyed. Okay. And it is called imperishable. That means it cannot even perish. It cannot be destroyed. It doesn't disappear. It doesn't get destroyed. Okay. The soul. All right. Now you got it. What is the soul? So now, then after that, in 22, Krishna says, Vashangsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grunati naro parani nata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani sangyati navani dehi. So what is that process of death actually? Krishna explains. As a person puts on a new garment, when you put on a new garment, giving up the old one, the soul similarly accepts a new material body, giving up the old and useless ones. Do you all get it? It's very straightforward. All right. In every festival time, like now Christmas is coming. Then after that, Chinese New Year is coming. So what we usually do, we go and buy a new cloth, new clothings. That's a norm. In every festival, Diwali, Chinese New Year, Christmas, okay, Hari Raya, Haji, and Ideal Fitri, all these Muslim celebrate. The first thing, what they buy? They buy new dress. When they buy new dress, what they do? They throw away all the old, useless dress away. Yes or not? They throw all their old, useless dress. They simply throw it away. Okay? So that's what Krishna says very nicely. That means what he says. Vashangsi jirnani yata vihaya navani girnati naro parani. A person puts on new garment. When you put on a new garment, when you give up the old one, the soul similarly accepts a new material body and giving up the old and useless one. So as you see, the person is gone, good, become so old, become so invalid. As we get older, what are the things will happen to us? All right? we start to see our senses as start to reduce function. All right. First thing, what will happen? The hair will turn gray. Secondly, what they call the eyesight start to dwindle. Number 3, the tooth will start to fall. Then after that, your ears start to not to function properly. And in between, you start to see your face start to go into wrinkle. You know, then you start to see that you don't have any proper standing. You'll be like shaken and all this. So the body is getting older. The body is, so once the body really become very old, it becomes so useless. Okay, you can't live in that body anymore. So the soul gives up and accept the new body and carry on the next round. Okay, so now let's look at this. Verse 23, 24, and 25. Chapter 2, verse 20, 24. Okay, now let's highlight this thing, few of the important things. So if you don't understand, please stop me immediately because it is very important. All right. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon. Okay. Cannot be burnt by fire. Cannot be moistened by water. And cannot withered by the wind. All right. The soul, that means you, okay, the soul can never be cut. You cannot cut it. All right. And it cannot be destroyed by any weapon. You can throw the atom bomb also, it can never, the body can be destroyed, the soul never destroys. It can never be burnt in fire. It can never be moistened by water. And it can never withered by the wind. Then after that, he says, this individual soul is unbreakable. You can't break it. Insoluble. Insoluble. You know, soluble, right? You know, sometimes when you take the medicine, we put in the water, it gets diluted. Soluble Panadol. You just put, it becomes diluted. So the soul can never be soluble. Insoluble. Can be neither burnt nor dried. You can't burn it and you can't even dry it. Okay. Then it says, he is everlasting. It lives forever. It's everlasting. Okay. Present everywhere. What does that mean? In everywhere means, if you see every living entity in every kind of environment, yes or not? Right? You go to that at the minus 30, minus 70 degrees, you know, the place in Russia, the coldest region in the world, minus 70 degrees. And yet there is some living entity lives there. There is some bears, polar bears, wolves, and still living there. And when you look at volcano, you know that lava, the volcano lava, which is extremely hot, there was even a living entity lives in that lava. There's a germ, bacteria, something that lives in that. When the scientists found out, discovered, they were surprised. But they found out, as the thing becomes cooler, whatever living entity inside dies. So the body of that living entity suits to live in lava. And there's also a living entity that suits to live in a extreme cold weather. All right. There's a living entity that lives inside the water. There's a living entity that lives even in the most nastiest river, dirty, even the sewerage tank. All right. There's a living entity. So in any condition that you see, there are living entities. So that means, in other words, it's present everywhere. Okay. And it can't be changed. It's unchangeable. It's immovable. Okay. It's eternally the same. Okay. Now, I want you to look at these important points to consider. So now the thing is, the thing is like this, the individual soul. What does that mean by individual soul? The individual soul means that you and I are individual living entity. In other words, we are not same. If you really ponder over this, look at your thumbprint. The thumbprint that you have never existed before in the history and shall not exist in the future. Yes or not? Your thumbprint will never exist in the future. All right? Even the way your cornea, your eyes cornea, you know, that's why they scan the eyes for eye cornea. Even the way you look, even the way you talk, even your voice, even your thinking pattern, even you as a person never existed before and will never exist in the future. So who are you actually? You are a very authentic person. You are a very authentic person. And actually the natures had paid really good attention on you. All right. So you are an individual. You have your own liking, disliking, your own belief system and everything. Yes, Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Yes. Yeah.
So just now, your description is referring to the material
Body.
condition
Yes.
of the soul or the individual soul, the soul itself.
No, no, I'm explaining the body first.
Ah, okay.
Now, you're talking about the thumbprint and all this, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I'm referring to the material body.
Okay.
I'm talking about our body now, all right? So that
Okay.
means your body is very authentic. The way you look is very authentic. No one looked like you before, and no one will look like you in the future. Yes or not? So we are all unique beings. So why is that so? Because we are all individual soul. We are not a random person. We have individual. And you know what? The individual that you had that individuality before, and you will have individuality even in the future. Even you go back home, back to Godhead, say you go to Vaikuntha, you go to Goloka, Vrindavan, Goloka, you still remain as an individual person. Okay? You can read that in this chapter 2, in the purport, you'll understand. In the following verses, you understand. So that means you are an individual soul and you're eternally the same. All right? Eternally the same means the way that you are before is like this. No one going to look like you, and you remain individual. So therefore we should always think before the worst thing that we can do sometimes as an adult, when we start to generalize things, especially when we have children. When your elder brother can do, why you cannot do? When that fellow can do, you cannot do. Your friend can do, you cannot do. That's something is very troublesome. Even sometimes in the temple, when that person can be in the kitchen, no, the person can go and distribute book. Why can't you join them? Why you can't do it? So we shouldn't generalize, because we are all individual personality. All right. Okay. So that means we understand the individual soul is unbreakable. You can't break this thing. Okay. Now let's continue. Okay. I think there's a question here. What about intestine, tapeworm, and other organism living within? Very good question you asked, Kesavan. You asked a very intelligent question. See, in this body that that we are living in, we are the main tenant. We are the main person. But along with us, there is lot of other organism lives along with us. Okay, like example, like a tapeworm, and all these things live with us. Just like the house that this house is mine, but I'm not alone. I see mosquitoes are with me, staying with me. I see cockroaches. I see rats. All the living entities still there in that house that belongs to you. That you are the house, but there's still living entities stays with you. Similarly, in this body, you are the main owner. But of course, there's so many co-people that co-living entity lives along with you. Good question. Okay. Now,
Thank you, Prabhu.
after that it says, yes, Kesavan?
Oh, thank you, Prabhu.
All right. So it is said that soul is invisible. The soul invisible means what? Can't be seen. And inconceivable, that means cannot be understood. And immutable, that means the soul can never stay idle. You see, anyone can never stay idle unless the person is in coma. As long as he's alive, as long as he's conscious and everything, it's immutable. You can't mute it. We are all doing something. We are just acting. We are moving our hand, and you see all the living entities, they cannot stay in one place. All right. So knowing this, Krishna says, you should not grieve for the body. So don't cry over the body. Okay. So now, as he said, it's fire resistant. It cannot be cut. It's water resistant. It cannot be withered by the wind. It's unbreakable. But now, what is the size of the soul? The size of the soul is, you take the tip of your hair and divide it. You cut it into 10,000 pieces. You slice it 10,000 times. That is the size of the soul. All right. It's size of the soul. When you divide the tip of your hair, not the hair, the tip of your hair, you take it and this thing, that's the size of the soul. So that means it can never be seen. It's so tiny. All right. And yet it's so powerful. All right. Okay. Now let's look at this 27 and 28. Yes. Siuling, right, Yunin?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Okay, Siuling, yes.
It's
Sure.
still about the individuality.
Mm-hmm.
So, Prabhu, you gave the examples of the individual, the differences of the physical body, right? Like
Yes.
thumbprints and all these things.
Yeah.
So, personality also belongs to the body.
Mm-hmm.
Then, my question is does all the souls are different, unique also?
You mean all the souls are unique?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. The souls
So,
are uniquely independent and individual. The souls are uniquely individual.
so we are having a different soul.
No, you are the soul, and your soul and my soul are not the same. That you and I not same, right?
We
So
are, yeah.
so that means
So,
every soul is an individual living entity, individual soul, uniquely individual.
so it's not the same in terms of the past memories that we have,
Uh-huh.
the body that we
That is a
are
past memory.
given.
That is all comes under this subtle body.
Yeah.
Subtle body is something that we will discuss in detail in the following chapters. I will draw the entire chart. I will draw soul, subtle body, and the gross body, and how they are related and all these things.
So my question is,
Yes.
to relate the text 24 and 25.
Mm-hmm.
So since we are not the same,
Mm-hmm.
every individual souls are not the same.
Exactly.
Then if one soul is killed as passed.
Mm-hmm.
Phone.
Yes, carry on, no problem.
So don't you think it's also a loss?
Okay, the soul is not lost. The soul can never be killed. The one that dies is only your gross body. Can you see? You see this 22?
Okay.
In 22, what it says here? The person puts on new garment, giving up the old one. The soul similarly accepts new material body, giving up the old useless ones. So that means, in other words, the one that dies is the material body, right? Which is old and useless. But the soul, when you look at the soul, but the soul accepts new. That means when the thing dies, it goes to the new body. It's just go on accepting some new gross bodies. The one that dies is actually the soul. Sorry, the body. Sorry. The one that dies is actually the material body.
Okay, so the difference in each different soul, apart from the physical and personality, what else? What are the other differences that the soul are having? Each individual souls are having.
See, every individual soul. Okay, now let's talk about the soul first. Now,
Yeah.
Krishna is explaining the soul can never be destroyed no matter what. You got it? So the
Yeah.
soul cannot be cut, cannot be destroyed by any weapon, even atom bomb, whatever. It can never destroy the soul. It cannot be burnt. It cannot be moistened. Okay?
So these are the similarity we have
Yes, all the souls, yes.
throughout the souls, right?
Right. Okay, and now I understand. This is the similarity between all the souls, that your soul, my soul, every soul. They have similarity, which is can never be destroyed no matter what. At the same time, it cannot be broken, cannot be it's insoluble, cannot be burnt or dried.
Yeah.
And all of us have something in common, that is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, movable, and eternally the same.
Okay.
Understood. But what I meant just now to give you some extra point, because that point that we will discuss in our future chapters, that to explain about the individual soul means that all of us are individual. That means all of us are not same. It's just like some people say, after I die, I merge into light. After I
Okay.
die, I go and merge into the light. I become like nothing. That means you and I all will go into light, just like the water drop into the
Mhm,
river. So the water merge into the and become the river. I mean, just
mhm,
disappears
mhm, mhm.
or loses its individuality. That means, okay, once I drop into, I have water, I go into the water. That's it.
Mhm.
And water it lost the individual. So that's what I'm saying. So that means the soul, it is not merge into something and become nothing.
So you are referring to the services, the prescribed duty that we have for each
Yes, exactly.
individual soul to be different. Okay.
Right. That's very true. That's very true. You said it very nicely that each and every one of us have our own prescribed, our own mentality and the way of doing things.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
So the best thing is we shouldn't generalize. When we generalize, that's when problem starts.
I see. Okay.
Mhm.
Got it.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for your
Right.
patience.
Dasarathan, my question sounds weird. What is the function of the soul in our body? As I can't remember my past soul is not carrying memory at the time. I can't figure out the main function of the soul in our body at as it is so minute. Okay. Now, Dasarathan, do you have any bad memories in your life that you want to forget? Dasarathan, are you there? Do you have any bad memory, traumatizing memory that you want to forget? Yeah. So imagine even these some bad memories in this life you want to forget. But if you're going to remember your past life, you can never live in your present life. Imagine in your past life, just imagine you are the former king of England. What will happen? And now you see your current situation, you are not rich, you're struggling. Say, example, you're struggling financially. But in your previous life, you are the king of England. How frustrating the memory going to look like? All right. So all these memories and everything is all kept in your intelligence. All right. It's not that you can remember. All right. So the the function of the soul, actually, there's no function of the soul. You are the soul. That means you are all pervasive. That means you are consciousness, you are moving, you are acting. You are the one, you are the soul. But you're doing it through the material body. Okay. I can't figure out the main function of the soul. So the main function of the soul, we will discuss as in our following verses, following chapters. Sure, you got it, huh? Dasarathan?
Yes,
Huh?
Prabhu. Yes.
Okay. Right. Okay, now let's look at 27 and 28. Okay. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvang janma mrityasya cha tasmat apariharyerte natvang shochitam arhasi avyaktadini bhutani vyakta madhyani bharata avyakta nidananyeva tatra ka paridevana. It says, Krishna says 27, verse 27, 28, one who has taken his birth is sure to die. We have to accept the fact. Okay. It is not something that's very shocking. One who has taken his birth is sure to die. Okay. So it's not something. Okay. Wait. Why the color is not changing? Okay. Now, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Okay. Therefore, in this unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. All right. So what we can understand from here is this. So that means one who has taken his birth, once we are born, we are definitely to die. Even we agree to this or not, but we are seeing around us, we are seeing all our loved ones, our uncle, our grandfather, grandmother. Now, once upon a time, they were so young, beautiful, Then after that, they got married, they created the children, and after that, but now they had a final moment of their life. And you see them leaving their body. All right. So those who have taken birth is sure to die. Jatasya dhruva mrityur. Mrityur means death. All right. But dhruvam janma mrityasya. But after death, he is sure to be born again. Okay. So Krishna says, in this unavoidable, you can't avoid it. Okay, you should not lament. I mean, we should not be very sorry about it. Okay, then after that he continues, all created beings, that means every created beings means what? Everything that created, everything that is alive, and everything that is there, you're building and everything, okay, are unmanifest in their beginning. That means formerly they never existed. Then they manifest in their interim state. So in between, they start to appear, manifest. But after that, at last, they unmanifest again when annihilated. When the thing becomes destroyed, they disappear again. So now Krishna asked this question. So what need is there for lamentation? So why do we need to lament? You all understand this thing? So first he says, all created being. That means everyone that has been created, formerly unmanifest. That means formerly around 47 years ago, I didn't exist. Right? Now I'm existing. Soon in the future, I will not exist anymore. I will never manifest anymore. When annihilated, when the body gets killed, when the person dies. All right? So now Krishna says, so what need is there for lamentation? So why do you need to lament? Okay? Got it? Okay. Now,
Prabhu.
so this, yes, Mataji. I'm just waiting for you actually. I'm just waiting for
You're
you.
waiting for me. Okay.
How come she's not asking question?
So I'm still thinking,
Yes.
especially
You're
about the
thinking too
question.
loud. I heard you.
Yeah. So what need is there for lamentation? The process itself is to be lamented. The process itself
Yes.
exists. You become to appear, and then going through at the middle stage, and then going disappear again. So
Yes.
this whole process is something that is to be
Very
lamented.
lament. Yeah,
Yes.
correct. I agree. Yes.
Agree? Okay.
So the question is,
The question is, so
how
Krishna
not to
is
lament?
asking, Krishna is asking, so what need is there for lamentation?
Yes.
Is the process itself is to be, is to be,
Lamented.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The process is lamented and it's very lamenting. People get frustrated. Of course, theoretically we can say, but of course, when we see the real life, it's totally different. Yes or not? So
Yeah.
that is that we will understand the entire Bhagavad Gita, because this is summary of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2 is the Gita summarized. So this is when Krishna is going to convince you from chapter 3 until 18. By the time you finish your chapter 18, you will be fearless. I promise you this. If you just follow exactly what Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita, you will be fearless. And you'll be very, okay, I don't want to go there. I don't want to give you so much of information now, because I want you to feel that the oomph or the, what they call the surprise in every chapter, because every chapter is going to be very surprising. All right? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. There's a story from Srimad Bhagavatam, Lamentation of King Chitraketu. The King Chitraketu, after so many years, he was a childless. See, every king always will be lamenting when they don't have a child, because they need a child to continue the kingdom. But see, you don't have a son. You what to do then? After so much of prayer and everything, eventually you got a son. But when the son born, eventually as a baby, the child died. Already after so long, you got a son, and the son died. And he became so upset. Oh my God. Then he was like so lamenting. He was crying and howling and everything. And that time Narada Muni came. He came to the kingdom and asked, why, what's wrong? Why you all are crying? He said, my son died. Really? He said, since you are my well-wisher, if at all you want to do me a favor, please bring my son back to life. He says, well, okay, if you want him to come back to life, all right, I'll make him alive. Then he did with some power, the child suddenly woke up. After the child woke up, there's another astonishing thing, the surprising thing, the child started talking. And the king suddenly started to scream. Imagine the mother, everyone starts screaming, my son, my son, my son. And the baby looked at the king and says, my son, you are my father? Yes, I'm your father. I said, you are which father of mine? Can you imagine? You are which father of mine? I said, well, I'm your father. Really? But I've got many fathers. I'm wondering you're from which father now? All right. So that's in other words, in this story, we can understand in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a big elaboration. All right. What happened when we leave the body? Okay. This is one of those example stories. Okay. There's a question here. Why Krishna uses the word interim? Interim? Why interim? India interim. The manifest India interim. Interim means in between. La. We are somewhere in between. That means we are in between of these existent and non-existent. Okay. What the Sanskrit word? It also sounds more like a Tamil. Okay. Where is it? Madhyani. Madhyani. Madhyani means also we call Matyanam. You know, in Tamil, the day. Pagal, Mathyana, Ratri. Mathyana means in between, middle. Madhyani. All right. Good, good, good. I love all your questions. All right. Now, 31. In 31, let's look at this. Swadharmang api cha vekshya na vikampitum arhasi dharmyat di yuddha treyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. What Krishna says here. Considering a specific duty of Kshatriya, Krishna is advising Arjuna. Considering your specific duty, that means your specific duty, Kshatriya. Kshatriya means soldier. That means considering a job as a soldier, Kshatriya, you should know that there's no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principle. And so there is no need for hesitation. Remember the thing just I explained earlier. For what is the beauty of a king, a Kshatriya? The wound. The beauty of a businessman, the fortune. The beauty of a teacher, Brahmana, the intelligent. The beauty of a Shudra, the laborer or the workers, are their loyalty. So now Krishna is saying that this is an opportunity for you to express yourself. And of course, you should not hesitate because all the Kshatriyas are always looking forward when there'll be war. Okay. So now let's look at this. 37. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed in the battlefield. Krishna says, either you will be killed in the battlefield and attain the heavenly planet. Either you'll get killed and you go to heaven, or you'll conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. So Krishna is telling, get up and fight. So you fight. If you win, you get earthly kingdom. You fight, but if you lose, you go to heaven. But you fight, you don't fight, you'll be infamy of being a coward. People start to make fun of you as a coward. Okay. So that's a question that we all should ask ourselves. Who am I? Right? Who am I? All right. Why am I here? Why am I going through this kind of suffering? Okay. Why did I put into this kind of awkward position? So I understand I'm not this body. I understand that I am a spirit soul which has been eternal, and suddenly I came into this body, I am somewhere in interim. So eventually I'm going to give up this body and go to the next body. That's what I've understood. But actually, who am I? What am I? What is my mission? That is the most intelligent question a person should ask themselves. Right? I have seen my father who worked so hard. He had a life, he lived, then he grew up, then eventually he died. Right? I have seen the same thing happen to my grandfather. I've seen it happen to my grandmother. And eventually now I'm going through this kind of situation. That means I'm also going through the same process. And eventually in the future, I see my son also going through the same future. But what is happening? All right. So why am I here? What is my mission in life? Why have I been put into this awkward position? Okay. So we should always think about this. Right? So example. So we understand, like how the more facilities are given to the government officer. Sometimes when you see the government officer given, they always write on a what they call with escort, right? Why they are go on escort? Because he got a very important duties to discharge. Not ordinary government officer will get a police escort. Only the important government officer will get a police escort with all the sirens so they can move fast, right? The facility like that. So similarly, we human beings are given more facility to discharge higher duties. So we as a human being, we have a more facility compared to the cat and dogs. When you see the cat and dogs or any animal, they don't have much facility. But only the human being are given facility. And for what? To discharge higher duties. And what is that? All right. So that is what we're going to continue in the part 2 of this tourist chapter. So before we start, shall we take a short break? Okay, the time is 9:04. Shall we just take a 2-3 minutes break? Is it okay?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
All right. So take a short break and we come back. Because today is chapter 2 is a very long chapter. All right. So we may overshoot 9:30, just 15-20 minutes. Is it okay? So please bear with me. Okay, just take a short break and come back. Okay, now let's go through this again. Okay. Okay, now we have already studied Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga means the scientific way or the analytical study, descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body. We understand that this body will perish, but the soul will go on. But the question is, who is that soul? Is you are the soul living in this material body. That means you go on living. You have been living all this while, and you'll go on living, even the body perishes, and you accept another body, you're just going to go on. Okay. Now we're going to study about Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga means how to work in Krishna consciousness in full bliss and knowledge of devotional service. All right, 39. Krishna continues. Esha te bihita sankhe buddhir yoge tvimang shrinu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandang prahasyasi. So Lord Krishna said, thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. So now you have already explained through the analytical or the scientific way studies, all right? Now listen, as I explain in terms of working without fruitive result. How to work without expecting any results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. Okay. So now this is the process actually going to create tremendous peace of mind, even in our job, even in our modern life. That means to work without expecting any result. All right. So how? Let's see what Krishna going to explain. But before that, here Arjuna is called as Pritha, because the mother of Arjuna is also called Sparta. All right. So that's why it says, oh, son of Pritha. Okay. Now, 40. And Krishna's assures, he says, Neha bikramo na shosti pratyavayo na vidyate sva alpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bayat. What he says here? In this endeavor, that means in this effort, in this attempt of studying through this Buddhi Yoga, there is no loss or diminution. That means it's not a loss at all. Okay. And little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So the question may arise. So after I give up this gross body, I accept another body, will I still remain a human being? Actually, no. Because there are a total of 8.4 million species. We will discuss as we go on. Okay, what are the species? So we can even fall into animal kingdom. Even we can fall into animal kingdom. All right. So now, but Krishna, what they call, he affirms here. He gives affirmative that says there is no loss or diminution. Even this, when you understand this, you start to practice this. There's nothing lost. And a little advancement on this path. Little advancement means what? See, you've already listened to chapter 1 and now you're going through halfway chapter 2 and say you don't want to do it. You don't want this anymore. Okay, I quit this class. It's okay. Because you're going to continue where you stopped in your next birth. All right. The little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear, the fear of falling into animal kingdom. You understand? So you'll be born again as a human being, and you're going to continue from chapter 2, text 40. So that is that things Krishna says here. All right. So now, example, in this life, you can be a graduate. Okay. In this life, say you are a doctor. In next life, when you're born again, you still have to go to kindergarten and learn ABC. You cannot say in my previous birth, I'm a doctor, therefore this birth, I'm going to continue. No, you can't do that. You start from zero. But in this life, you practice little bhakti. All right. So where you stopped in the next birth, you simply continue. Okay. Okay. So qualification, continue in the next life from where it was left until you become perfection. Then you go and achieve this thing. So now in 46, Krishna says, Yavan artha udapane sarvata sampluto dake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanata. It says all purpose served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. So that means anything that's served in a small well. What is the well we use for? Bathing, drinking, washing, cleaning, and all these things. The same thing, even a great reservoir also can do the same thing. Similarly, all the purpose of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So in other words, what it says, when we want to take water from the well, all right, the well is small and it gives you the enough facility. You need water for drinking, bathing, cleaning, washing, cooking, whatever. Also can be served by a big reservoir of water. So similarly, all the purpose of the Vedas, what are the things that you need to know in the Vedas or Vedic literature can be served by one who knows the purpose behind them. So what is that purpose? In chapter 15, text 15, Krishna says, Vedescha sarver aham. Aham means me. Eva vedyo, to be known. So by all the Vedas, I to be known. So now Krishna is explaining here. Okay, you all understand?
No,
Okay.
don't understand.
Now, okay, it's like this. You see the well. The well gives you water, yes?
Yeah.
The same water also you can take from the great river. Yes or not?
Correct.
Yes or
You
not?
mean
Yes.
the river here and the water here and the water there are the same. You can take from here or take from there.
No, yeah, exactly. Because the water that you need to take, say like your house is beside the river, a mighty river, but near your house, beside your house, you have a well.
Yeah.
So the thing that you want to take from the well, it also can be taken from the river. But the river is vast and huge. But what is the purpose of going to the river? Also to take water. Yes or not? The purpose is to take water. Correct or not?
They're correct.
Okay. So similarly, what it's mentioned here, Krishna says, all the purpose of the Vedas, all that, see, when we study the Vedas, Rig, Yajur, okay, all this we'll explain later. So the
Got it.
Vedas can be served by one who knows the purpose behind it.
So
You got
if
it?
you know, do you mean if I know my purpose is to get water?
No, it's not that. It's just an analogy. Krishna is giving an analogy.
So let me
Giving
finish.
an
example. Do you mean if I know the purpose of the effort, let's say to get the water, so it doesn't
okay.
If I know, yeah, let me see how to go.
Okay.
I know my purpose is to get the water.
No. Not the purpose to get the
it from
water.
a river.
No, not the purpose of getting the water. The purpose of acquiring water. That means, in other words, the well gives you water. The river also gives you water.
Yes.
Okay. You go to the well, you take water. You go to the river, you take the water. Which is more easier, going to the river or going to the well?
To the well.
Exactly. So if you want to study the Vedas are so huge, so vast. You may not have the lifetime to study all these, or it can even confuse you. You got it?
Okay.
You got it? You understand? No, do you understand my statement now?
So
the
do you
Vedas are
mean
so huge.
the Veda is so huge? So do you mean if you can listen to Krishna saying
You are there.
Right?
Exactly.
Then we are actually reaching out to the right person.
Exactly. You are reaching out the right source. and you're getting it straight to the eye, straight to the bullseye.
Okay. Thank you.
That means, in other words, the purpose of the Vedas are so huge, but from studying the Vedas, you go to the person who knows the purpose behind the Vedas. It's easy. You got it?
Yes.
Very good. Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
In my understanding, there
Right.
is so many Vedas in the world. Simply by learning Bhagavad Gita itself, it can get the same benefit. Am I? Yes, really. That's a fact. When you just studied Bhagavad Gita, you understood the entire purpose of the of the Vedas. The Bhagavad Gita is a summary. It is the what they call. It is the thing that required. In 500 over verses, Krishna summarized the entire thing, that what you should know. What is the entire purpose of the Vedas? You have mentioned it in this Bhagavad Gita. You are right. You are very right, Dasaratha. Okay, now you got this idea. All right. Okay, now let's look at 47. Karmanyevadikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma karma pala heturbur ma te sangostva karmani. So now Krishna explains, you have right to perform your prescribed duty. Now let's see what is prescribed duty means. When we go to the doctor give you prescription. The doctor doesn't give a random medicine. So when the thing okay, like for instance, the doctor gives the medicine and on the label written SL he, all right, Siuling, all right, he is Siuling. The thing is written he is Siuling means that medicine is authentically and it's for you. That means he prescribed the medicine to you according to whatever condition that you're in. So that's called prescription. So what Krishna says, you have right to perform your prescribed duty. That means in all of us have some kind of prescribed duty given to us. And what is that prescribed duty? Is the job that you're doing, the job that you are naturally involved in. Maybe you might have studied something else, but end up you're working something else, because that what is your prescribed duty, your job. Okay. So Krishna says, you have right to perform your prescribed duty. But after that, he says something very shocking. But you are not entitled for the fruits of the action. That means you do your job, but you are not entitled for the fruits. Or in other words, you have right to perform your duty. You have to go to work and do your job, but you're not entitled for the salary. How does it sound? Hey, do my job and don't expect salary. How? All right. So now that's what Krishna says. Okay, then he says, never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activity. So never consider yourself. Don't ever think that you are the cause of your result of your activity. Whatever things you do, it's because of you the thing happened. Never think like that. At the same time, Krishna says, and never be attached to not doing your duty. At the same time, when you do something and you don't get recognized, you don't get enough this thing, therefore I don't want to do my duty, don't even do that. So first he says, number one, he says, you have right to prescribe you have right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled for the fruit of action. Okay, the fruit of the action, that means you just simply do your job. Whatever action, the result, you're not entitled, all right, because you don't know what's going to happen. See, especially when you're involved in a project, just carry on, do your project, every step, follow the step properly and get it done, right? So, but you're not entitled for the action. See, and anything may happen in between, so you're not entitled. Then secondly, he says, so never consider a thing cause of the result. So if anything goes wrong or anything goes better, don't think that because of me, everything goes on. At the same time, if you think that the place is so troublesome, no, you're not getting recognized, you're this thing. So he says, never be attached to not doing your duty. So that means, I'm not getting any recognition, so I don't want to do this job anymore. Don't do that. You have to perform your duty. Okay. Example. Now, then after that, Krishna continues, 249. He says, Durena hyavaram karma, buddhi yoga dhananjaya, buddhau sharanam anvicha, kripana palahetava. So now let's look at this. Now Krishna called Arjuna as Dhananjaya. Oh, Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya, as I explained just now, the fetcher of wealth. That means you're going to conquer the country, bring the wealth. So Arjuna is called as Dhananjaya. So he says, keep all abominable activities. All that abominable activity, all that activity which is not, which is what they call abominable means, how to say? Let's look at Google Acharya. So what it says, abominable meaning. I understand the word, but I just want to say it in a simple English. Very bad, terrible, Okay, very bad, terrible, or revulsion. Okay, anyway, we just use the simple English. Very bad or terrible activities. Yes, disgusting, correct. Very good. The disgusting activity. So all this, keep all these abominable activities far distant by devotional service. Krishna suggests this. And in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. So now, let's look at this. Okay. Durena. In Tamil, Durena means what? Duram, far away. Duramaga tukiri, Duram. So Durena. So keep all abominable far distant. Okay, which is here avaram karma. Okay, here avaram karma means abominable activities. Karma means activity. All right. Then use your intelligent buddhi yoga. Buddhi means intelligent. Buddhi yoga, oh Dhananjaya. All right. Buddhau sharanam anvicha. In that situation, surrender unto me. Sharanam means surrender. In Tamil also we call sharanam. Sharanam means surrender. In English we call surrender. In that intelligent, surrender to me. Okay. After that, kripana. Kripana means misers. Pala. Pala means what? Fruit. In Tamil also we call palan edirpaathu vela seiyade. Palan. Enna palan? Palanna fruit. All right. Palan. Okay. Etava. So now what we understand here, oh Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activity or disgusting activity far distant. How you could do that? By devotional service. So when you perform devotional service means you are getting purified. In that purification, you are trying to keep away all these abominable activity, all the sinful activity and all these things, put it far away. Then after that, Krishna says, in that consciousness. What consciousness? When the consciousness is so clear, you're fully purified. In that consciousness, Krishna says, surrender unto the Lord. Okay. And after that, he also warned. He said that those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. If those people want to enjoy whatever benefit they get in this thing, they are going to be in a very miserable situation. Okay. So now, so what are the things? Okay. Result of fruitive activities. Okay. Versus buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means intelligent, or in Krishna consciousness. Example. Okay. Now let's look at this. Now, fruits of activity. What are the fruits of activity? That means when we do perform something as a materialistic person, what are the things? Loss or diminution of the result. I mean, all the things that you work for will be a loss, and there'll be diminution, will be forgotten. Okay, like for instance, I'm from Ipoh. In Ipoh, you see that formerly it was one of the richest. Ipoh was the richest city in the world formerly during that what they call tin mine rush. Okay, and Ipoh was the first state after what place? There's one place in Germany, Stuttgart. Okay, the highest number of Mercedes were used after Stuttgart was in Ipoh. And Ipoh, you see all the big mansions, big taukes and everything so huge. But what happened to all that? Now gone. Some has became this thing. Some has become some Islamic religious study group. This thing, and some has taken by something. Everything's gone. All the work cut they did, there was a loss. It never got inherited. All the fruitive activities can incur sin. Does not get rid of good and bad reaction, or whatever. It doesn't take away all your good and bad reaction, and no guarantee in human life in next birth. Okay. Intelligence is not fixed. That means the person in fruitive activity, in materialistic way of life, he don't have a fixed intelligence. And he don't have a peace and no happiness. And result in entanglement. He become entangled. He try to do something until he become stuck in it. And entangles want to work. And end up the people will have to go on working. Okay, they have to entangled want to work. But what happened when the same activity we do it in Krishna consciousness? All right. No loss or diminution of the result. Text 40. Does not incur sin. 38. All right. Get rid of good and bad reaction. Text 50. Okay. Please, I hope you all will read the text tomorrow. Okay. One is sure to be born as a human being. So even anything goes wrong, if we stop halfway also, never mind. It's sure to be born as a human being, either in the family of cultured Brahmin or rich and aristocrat family. Either you can be born in a devotee family, or you'll be born in a very rich and aristocrat family. So intelligence is fixed and resolute. We have fixed intelligence, we have good resolution, and result in peace and happiness, result in liberation, okay, and free one from bondage of work. Okay, it frees one from bondage of work. Okay, why my hand suddenly came up? Huh? Okay. Okay, now let's look at 54. But before that, why my hand is up? Can you all hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, can.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I'm wondering why my hand suddenly is up now. I didn't
Yeah,
put up
we
my...
can spot that also. Don't know why.
No, I think the gesture lah. Yeah, I disabled the gesture. The gesture is back again. Okay. Okay. Just give me a second. Reaction. Lower hand. Okay. Don't know why the things. Okay. I must make sure I don't put my gesture. Okay. So, all right. 54. 54, Krishna says, Arjuna vacha stita pranyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava stitadi kim prabhasheta kim asita vrajeta kim. So what Krishna says here? Arjuna said, oh Krishna, then now Arjuna is saying, Arjuna speaking, oh Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? So that means he's asking, what are the symptoms? I mean, when the person who have that consciousness merge in transcendence, that means his consciousness become very spiritual. Okay. So what are the symptoms? He asked. The second question he asked, how does he speak? And what is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? Okay. So now Krishna is answering in 56 and 57 verses. Okay. Okay. So the question implies how the intelligence and the word respond to affection, anger, and neutrality. So the thing is, the answer is the person, how does he distinct? Okay. Equipoised in happiness and distress. Okay, that means the person who have intelligence, all right, they say is equipoised in happiness. That means definitely is in middle. That means he's not happy, he doesn't get affected by happiness or distress. Free from attachment, fear, and anger. Okay, what is attachment, fear, and anger? We will going to discuss this the entire Bhagavad Gita. Because this is the three things is considered the most impure things to have. Right? Of course, we're going to study this a lot in Bhagavad Gita. And number 3, unaffected by good and evil. That means this person never get affected by either good or evil, and he firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Mentioned in text 57. Okay. How does he sit? Okay. 58 and 59, Krishna answers, he uses his senses only for Krishna service. Okay. Based on higher taste and can control his senses. That means he only uses his senses just for the service and also based on higher taste. Okay. The analogy we can think about is like tortoise and devotee. Okay. Implies to keep the sense away in the service of the Lord and withdraw the sense when it's not required. When you see the tortoise, whenever it's not required, it pulls the limb into the shell. So when it's required, it brings out. So that is how, example, he says, how does he sit and how does he move? Okay. Okay, now, how does he walk? Okay, answer is, while engaging senses, he does with regulation and religious principle. So that means while he's performing his duty, okay, he engaging his senses. He engages his senses only what they call with regulation. That means everything is regulation and with religious principle. Okay, 72. So Krishna continues. Esha Brahmi Stita Partha Nainang Prapya Vimuyati Stivasyam Antakalepi Brahma Nirvanam Richati. This is the way of spiritual and godly life. After attaining which a man is not bewildered. After attaining, the man is not disturbed, bewildered. Okay. If one is thus situated even at the hour of death, Even a person can situated in this condition, even at the time of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. So what is the kingdom of God? The place that once you go, you will never return. As long as we are in this material world, we're going to go on accepting different gross body. We give up this body, we go to the next body, then go to, as we go on, we're just going to go on taking up new body. Okay. But the put to end is when we give up this place, right? Just like sometimes I saw that a few days ago, when a person is arrested, okay, when a person is arrested by the police, until he's sentenced, you know what the police will do? They will keep removing the person from one lockup to another lockup. Example, they first today go into this lockup, sit there for 2 days. Then after that, the person is taken, bring to another police station, put him into that lockup. Like that, he's going around one lockup after one lockup. And according to that, he will suffer and enjoy, or he get experience according to different lockup. Maybe you go to one lockup, the policemen are very friendly. And you go to some lockup, the policeman bad mood, he come in and whack the floor. Then you go to one lockup, you see that the prison mate are crazy floor. He scream and like he's like as though possessed. He's giving him a sleepless night. In one lockup, the place is so tidy, so tiny. And one lockup is so huge. I mean, he experienced all these lockups until is taken to the court. All right. And after that, he is sentenced, then you go to the main prison. Right. So like that. That means we are all moving from one place to one place, one place. Until one day will come that once if we can simply keep our mind, that means in this way, in this way of spirituality and godly life, if we can remain like this at the time of death, we can simply enter into the kingdom of God. So once we go into the kingdom of God, we will never ever return again to this miserable place. All right. So this is something that I'd like to introduce to all of you. Take the commitment. I call it RDC formula. This RDC formula is one of the fantastic formula I've started. And through this formula, I start to see huge transformation happening in so many people's life. Okay. Those people are so frustrated, depressed, and all these things. They have achieved so much of huge transformation happening in their life. Okay. What is RDC? R means read. Please read and study Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis. All right. So now we have already done chapter 2. So in the chapter 2, I know it's quite, some of you are quite confused and everything. Don't worry. In chapter 3, you will understand what you have read in chapter 2. All right. You will understand what actually you read in chapter 2. You will start to understand, because the entire chapter 2 is what going to describe from chapter 3 until chapter 18. Imagine so much of text, just Krishna. So you will elaborate. Okay. In a way that we can understand. So study Bhagavad Gita daily and distribute Bhagavad Gita. Okay, what is the advantage of distributing Bhagavad Gita? You will understand as you go on in your verses, in your chapters. All right. And third thing is chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just chanting of this holy name of the Lord will give you tremendous peace of mind, tremendous clarity, and a kind of blissful feeling that you can never explain. An ecstatic feeling that you're going to feel so good, which can never be derived by any other form of pleasure. You can think of anything else in this world. Okay, by chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you start to have a huge transformation start happening in your life. All right. If possible, try to do 16 rounds. And what is that? We will discuss as we go on. Okay. So with that, we end our session here. So let's open for question. Is there any questions? Any comment? You all confused?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Are you confused, Mataji?
No, it's very clear. Thank you.
Clear.
I mean, thank you for your kind explanations and
okay. Because when you see chapter 3, in chapter 3, Arjuna will start chapter 3 like this. He says, Arjuna vacha jasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani gore mam niyojasi Keshava. Arjuna said, "Oh Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this?" Oh, sorry, not chapter 3, text 1, text 2. In text 2 is very interesting. Vyami shreneva vakyena buddhi moha ya shivame tat ekam vada nischitya yena shreyo aham apnuyam. He said, my intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instruction.
Mm.
Equivocally, I'm confused, right? So please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. So now Arjuna is telling Krishna, now you please regulate, put everything point form, step by step, what you're trying to explain. Explain further. So that is when is the entire Bhagavad Gita is going to be spoken.
Okay.
Yes,
Looking-
Chiong Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Jaya Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Accept my humble obeisances.
Yes, please accept humble obeisances to you too, Prabhu.
I just wondering that this second chapter, so-called Gita summarized, why is at the beginning, is not in the end. It's not in the end of all the chapter summarized. So
You see, like this, first chapter, Arjuna was grumbling and Krishna was a good listener. He listened to all the things that he said. In chapter 2, he gave the suggestion. He gave the suggestion of Sankhya and Buddhi. Sankhya means the analytical study of the soul and the body. Buddhi means intelligent.
yes,
How are you going to use your intelligence in devotional service? You understand?
yes,
So now, then after that, after listening to this thing, then Arjuna said, can you please tell me decisively? So what is what? So that means he's asking Krishna, you put everything in perspective. First, we talk about Sankhya. I'm not this body. I'm the soul. Okay, what does it mean? What does that mean? And Buddhi. So Krishna will start from Buddhi Yoga in chapter 3. That means, what is the title of chapter 3? Karma Yoga, right? So what is karma and what is yoga? Karma means activity. Yoga means linking with God. So
yes.
how to do it? You know, so that's when he start to elaborate. He elaborate the entire, whatever that he has spoken in chapter 2, he elaborate everything in detail, the final, until chapter 17.
Okay,
And
Prabhu.
chapter 17 is considered the last chapter. But chapter 18, you know what Krishna will do? He summarized all the things that he has spoken from chapter 3 to chapter 17.
I see. Understand.
You can go back to my video. If you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can go back to my video on batch 4, chapter 18. I described that. I explained that actually.
Okay.
What is chapter 18? Right?
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Okay, Mata Prabhu, thank you. Okay, thank you so much for all your time. And I truly appreciate. And okay, so we're going to discuss again tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Saturday and Sunday is going to be in the evening. Then from next week, Monday onwards, we go back to morning session. Monday to Friday is morning. Okay. So tomorrow we start the same time, 7:30 p.m. So tomorrow title is going to be Karma Yoga. Chapter 3 is going to be very interesting chapter. The chapter that at least can going to give you a tremendous peace of mind. All right. You can even apply it in your business life, in your social life, even your family life, in every life. It's going to be tremendous. Okay. In chapter 3 is going to be really tremendous. Right. I hope you don't miss it. And if you think that you really like, okay, I'm so happy that all of you like the session. So you can put up a comment in the group. I have enabled the comment. So put a comment so that tomorrow we can have more people to come over. Because some people say, oh, I refer back to the recording. Nothing like live classes, right? Nothing, okay, like what? Siuling Mataji asked so many questions, and Dasarathan, K7, all asked so many questions. It's like, and of course, Chong Prabhu, Chaitanya Dayadas, right? Asked a lot of questions. These are the questions are very important because we also will study what are the people that actually come to the Lord. Because when you look at other doctrine, other religious practice, they say, don't ask question. Just listen. You know, like certain like Jew religion, Torah. In Torah, the first rule is you should not ask question. Don't question. Just follow. But here Krishna says from the chapter, every day he says, be inquisitive. Ask question. Ask question. Okay, when we ask question, that's when we expand our knowledge and intelligence. All right. So with that thought in mind, of course, 9:40, please forgive me for overshooting the time. We'll see again. And then we see again tomorrow at same time and discuss chapter 3. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyavacha Paditanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhayo Namah. Hare Krishna. Good night. Have a nice weekend. Hari Bol.